Hi everyone, it's Alan Onuma. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to use gears in Autodesk Inventor, which includes how to constrain them so they spin together. This feature is quite useful for whenever you're trying to CAD lifts, claws, and a lot of other subsystems. So to start off, we're going to make a new assembly file. So please go to the New button at the top left of your screen, left click it, and once this pops up, again, we're going to go under Assembly and pick Standard.iam. Do not choose Boldment. So once you select Standard, go down to the bottom right and press Create. So if you do get this error message, do not worry, just hit OK and continue on. So the first thing we're going to do once our assembly file opens is we're going to save it like usual. So please go to the top left of your screen and press the save icon. So once you press the save icon, our file menu pops back up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go find our project folder. So if your file export doesn't default to your project folder, you're going to hit this drop down menu. You're then going to go to Documents, go into the Inventor folder, then select your project folder. Once in here, we're going to name it something useful so we know what this file is later. So since today's lesson is on gears, I'm going to name this Gear Learning Example. And once you have named it, please hit save at the bottom right. So for today's lesson, we're going to do a pretty straightforward assembly. We're just going to import a 5-wide C channel and we're going to add 2 gears with axles on it, and then I'll show you the gear constraint. So to start off, let's go to Place in the top left of our screen and left click Place. So once the file explorer comes up, we're going to want to find our part library. So please go to the drop down menu, go to Desktop, click on the part library, and the first piece we're going to add is our 5-wide C channel base. So we're going to go under Structure, then please go to the aluminum 5-wide C channels, and let's get a decently long C channel. So let's go down to the 25-hole long one C channel. So once you select the 25-hole C channel, we're going to go down to the Open button. You're going to click Open. If you get this error message, do not worry, just hit yes and continue on. So now that we have the outline of our C channel, let's left click on our screen to place it. And we only want one 5-wide C channel, so please hit escape so you get rid of the outline of that 5-wide. So remember, this is the first part in our assembly file, so we want to make sure we ground it right away. To ground it, if you forgot, please right click on your part. Once this menu pops up, you're going to go down to Grounded, and you're going to left click that. Once you've grounded your part, if you try to hold left click and move it, you should be unable to. So now let's add some of our gears to our 5-wide assembly. So we're going to go back to Place, and please left click on it. So once we have our file explorer pop back up, we're going to go again back to our part library. So hit the drop down menu, go to Desktop, go to the part library, and this time let's add in our axles for our gears. So we're going to go under Motion. You're going to go scroll down to the Standard Shafts folder, left click on it, and let's add a 2-inch axle. Once you select 2-inch axle, please press Open. If you get this error message, again, do not worry, just hit yes and continue on. So once we have our axle outline following our cursor, let's place it to the right of the C channel. So left click to place it, and we only want one for now, so you can press Escape. So now that we have an axle, we still need our gears and maybe a spacer. So let's go back to Place. Please left click on Place. Once you click on Place, we are going to go to our part library. So hit the drop down menu, go to desktop. The part library should be right here, so please click on it. Then this time we're going to add a spacer. So let's go to motion. Go down to the spacers folder. Please left click on it. And this time let's add a 1/8 inch spacer, or the 0.125 inch nylon spacer. So once you select it, please go down to the open button and press open. If you get this error message, again, do not worry, just hit yes and continue on. Just so I know where it is, let's put it next to an axle, so left click by our axle. Once you place one, press escape, we only need one for now. Now let's add in our gears. So let's go up to place again, and left click on it. Once you left click on it, we're going to again go to our part library, so hit the drop down menu. Go to desktop, then go to the part library. Since this time we're adding gears, we're going to go under our motion folder again. And we're going to go into the gears folder. So please left click on it. And let's add a 36 tooth high strength gear. And let's add in our metal shaft insert. So please control click the metal shaft insert. And now we're going to press open. If you get this error message, do not worry, hit yes. You'll get 2 of these because we are opening 2 parts. So hit yes again. Now you should see the outline of our gear and our high strength insert. So please left click near our axle and spacer. You'll see our gear and metal insert have been placed, so press escape. And now I'm going to rotate our view so we're facing the other side of the C-channel. So please click this corner of your rotation cube. So now we're going to make this insert into the gear. So we're going to zoom in on the gear. Let me reposition it slightly. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a make constraint on the flat part in the insert to the flat part of the gear. So go up to the top toolbar. Please hit constraint. And go down, make sure mate's selected. Make sure we have the left solution selected or mate. And click the bottom face of the insert. It should be highlighted blue now. We're going to click the top face of the gear right here. Once that happens, please hit apply. Now, since we only have one constraint, you need to constrain it so this side of the gear is touching this part, and then we need to have this face of the insert touching that face of the gear. So we're going to zoom in. You should be able to see the right side of the insert. Please left click on it. So now I'm going to zoom out slightly. I'm going to rotate our cube so we can see the other side of the gear. So please rotate your cube. You can hit this corner. I'm going to again zoom in on our gear. Now you should see this wall of the gear. Please left click on it. You should see it pop together. Hit apply. We're going to exit this constraint menu real quick. I'm going to move this insert so that way we can see the last wall that the insert needs to touch. So please drag the insert slowly. You may notice the gear moves, but that's not a problem. I'm going to rotate our cube so we can... Oh, sorry, that was a bad rotate. I'm just going to hit this corner. I'm going to zoom in. So we want to have this face of the insert touching this wall of the gear. So I'm going to hit go back to constraint. Please left click on constraint. Again, we're going to use mate. Make sure the left icon on solution selected. I'm going to hit this face of the insert. I'm then going to hit this corner of the rotation cube so I can see the wall of the gear that we need. I'm going to quickly pan. I'm going to zoom in on the gear. And now you should be able to see this wall of the gear. Please left click on it. You should notice that the insert has now popped into the gear. You can hit apply and exit this constraint menu. So as you see, the gear insert is now in the gear. Now I'm going to quickly hit this corner of the gear so that way we can reposition ourselves. And here we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to copy paste our metal insert so we have another one. So please zoom in on the gear. What we're going to do is we're going to select the metal insert by left clicking on it. We're going to hold Control C. You're then going to release it. And then to the right of our gear, we're going to press Control V. Now we have our second insert. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And now we're going to rotate to see the bottom face of our gear. So please hold the rotation cube and slowly lift it up so we rotate to the bottom face of our gear. So now we want to do the same thing. So we're going to make this flat piece of the insert to the flat top of the gear. So we're going to go up to Constraint. Please left click on Constraint. We are then going to use Mate again. So make sure your solution, you have the left icon selected. We're then going to click the top face, the bottom face of our metal insert. We're then going to click the top face of our gear. They should pop together. We can hit Apply. And now we have two more mate constraints to do. We have to mate this face of the insert to that wall of the gear, and then this side of the insert to that wall of the gear. So since we can see this side of the insert, please zoom in so you can see the wall of the insert. Please left click on it. I'm then going to click this corner of our rotation cube. I am then going to zoom in on our gear, and you should be able to see the wall of the gear. If you can't, slightly zoom in more. Please left click on it. Then the insert should pop together. You can hit Apply. Then I'm going to slowly zoom out so you can see the entire gear. Then please exit the constraint menu. I'm going to slowly move this insert so we can see the last two walls we need to connect together. So just drag it slowly. So we're going to connect this wall of the insert to that wall of the gear. So please go up to Constraint. Please left click on it again. Make sure Mate selected and the left solution icon is too. So I'm going to click this wall of the insert. I'm then going to press this corner of the rotation cube so we can get the other side. I am then going to zoom in slowly. And this is the wall we want to connect the gear to. So please left click on that wall. It should snap together. You can hit Apply and exit this constraint menu. If you did it correctly, this insert should move with the gear. I'm just going to press the home button so we can reset. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this spacer and connect that to the side of the gear. So we're going to zoom in on the two. And then we're going to go up to Constraint. Please left click on Constraint. We're then going to use Insert. We're not going to use Mate. So please go to the fourth icon or Insert. Once you left click on it, we're going to click the top edge of the spacer. We're then going to click the top edge of the insert in the gear. Do not click on the gear, click the insert, please. It should snap together, and you can hit Apply. You can then exit the constraint menu. If you did it correctly, let me just click the right face real quick. You should see that the spacer is just above the metal insert. And then I'm going to hit the home button. So since we want two of these gear assemblies, including the inserts, the spacer, and the axle, I'm going to copy paste this whole thing. So please, to the bottom right of the gear, hold left click, drag a box over all the parts except the C channel, release it, and now you should see all our parts are highlighted blue except the C channel. We're then going to hit Control C, and then let's to the left of it, press Ctrl V. And now you've copied all the parts. So I'm going to hit the home button again to reset. So now that we have 2 gears and 2 axles, I'm going to start putting the axles into the C channel. So I'm going to go up to constraint. Please left click on it. Again, we're going to use insert, so click on the 4th icon that says insert. I'm going to then slowly zoom in on the axle. You're then going to click this edge of the axle. Going to zoom out. And then we want to pick one of the middle rows of holes. So I'm going to zoom in on exactly the middle row, middle hole. I'm going to then click not this edge of the hole. I'm going to click on this edge of the hole. Once you do it, you can see the axle is facing the wrong way. So I'm going to, instead of using opposed, I'm going to click on align, which is the second or the right icon under the solution tab. Now you can see our axle is facing the right way. I'm going to hit apply. I'm then going to exit this constraint menu. And then just to refocus, I'm going to hit the home button. So now that we've added our axle, I'm going to put on our gear and spacer assembly onto the axle. So I'm going to go up to constraint. Please left click on it. I am then going to go to the 4th icon or insert again. Please left click on it. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this gear spacer assembly. I'm going to click the top edge of the spacer, so right there. I'm going to then zoom out, slightly pan over. I'm then going to slowly zoom in on your axle. If you zoom in close enough, you can still see the holes in the original C channel. We're going to click the closer edge of the hole of the C channel. You should then see our gear pops on nicely. You can hit apply when you're ready and exit this constraint menu. If you did it correctly, I'm going to quickly hit the right face. You'll see that the spacer is right on the edge of the C channel. So now I'm going to hit the home button again to refocus. So we're going to do the same thing except with the second axle and gear. So I'm going to zoom in on this axle. I am then going to go up to our top toolbar and left click constraint again. Again, we are using insert, so please go to the 4th icon that says insert, left click on it, then I'm going to click this round edge of the axle. I'm going to hit the home button, and I am going to zoom in over here. So we want it 2 holes away from the edge of the gear, so 1, 2. Again, we're going to click on the opposite side of the hole, not the close side. We're going to left click it, and our axle should pop in. As you'll notice, again, it's pointing in the wrong direction. So we're going to go under solution. Instead of using opposed, we're going to hit the right icon so it flips direction. Our axle is now facing the right way, so you can hit apply. And I'm going to exit this constraint menu. Again, I'm going to hit the home button so it can refocus and see our gear. So for our last insert, we're going to put this gear onto the axle. So please go up to constraint, left click on it. Again, we're going to use insert or the 4th icon, so please click on the 4th icon. I'm going to slowly zoom in on our gear. Again, we're going to pick the top edge of our spacer, so right there. Once it's highlighted blue, I'm going to hit the home button so we zoom out. And then going to slowly zoom in on our axle. And we want to click the outer hole of the C channel. So click on this edge. And our gear should pop on nicely. You can hit apply. You can hit the X on the constraint menu. And then I'm going to zoom out. Again, I'm going to double check our gears in the right spot. So I'm going to hit the right face of our cube. And then you should see the edge of the spacer is just touching the edge of the C channel. Then I'm going to hit the home button to reset. So since we're at a good saving point, since we added our 2 gears on, please go to the top left, go to your save icon, left click on it, And when you have this menu pop up, please press OK. Now we've saved our part. Remember, it is very good practice to save often whenever you're CADing with assemblies. Now we're going to click the front face, and I'm going to show you right now what's the problem with our gears. So right now, our gears should spin. However, in real life, if this was a natural gear ratio that we put on the C channel, when we turn this gear, this other gear should turn too. So for today's lesson, I am going to show you a constraint that we can use to get these two gears to spin in sync with one another. So again, I'm going to hit the home button just so we reset. So now we're going to go up to our constraint menu again. Please left click on constraint. So previously we've only used two constraints. We've used mate and we've used insert, and these are known as assembly constraints. I'm going to introduce you to motion constraints. So as you can see on the top of our constraint menu, we have 4 pages. We have assembly, we have motion, transitional, and constraint set. Please click on motion. Under here, we have 2 types. We have a rotation constraint, and we have a rotation translation constraint. For today's lesson, we're going to only use rotation. So the way it works is, similarly, we're going to click 2 surfaces. We're going to click 2 round parts that are centered on our turning point. So in this case, we're going to click a part in our gear that is centered on the axle. So we can click our inserts, for example. So please click on the top face of our inserts. So it should highlight blue, and we're going to click the top surface of the insert of the other gear. And you'll notice it's now highlighted green. Again, if you misclicked, you can simply use the selection icon again, the cursor 1 if you misclick the first surface, and the cursor label 2 if you misclick the second surface. And now I'm going to quickly explain to you what the solution tab is. So right now it depicts 2 directions our gears can rotate. They can rotate in the same direction or in the opposite direction. In real life, these gears would spin in the opposite direction, so we're going to hit the second icon, which is known as reverse. You're then going to hit apply. So now if we exit this constraint menu, you'll notice when I spin this gear, the other one rotates too, which is what we wanted. So I'm going to quickly hit the home button so we can get a better view of this. And as you can see, when I rotate this, the other gear rotates nicely. So now I'm going to quickly explain to you another feature within that rotation constraint. So since we applied the rotation constraint to our 2 inserts here and here, I'm going to go under the drop-down menu of this insert, and I'm going to go edit our rotation constraint. So once you hit this drop-down menu, you'll see all 4 constraints that we did. We did our 3 mates and our rotation. So we want to edit our rotation constraint, so please right-click on rotation and press edit. So right now I want to introduce you guys to the last feature in rotation, which is the ratio tab. So luckily we currently have a 1-to-1 gear ratio, so we want a value of 1, but I wanted to show you how the ratio function works if you have a different gear ratio that's not 1-to-1. So the way ratio works is it's determined by the order in which you select your gears. So the way you should select your gears is you should always select your driven gear first and your drive gear second. So based off of the way we selected our gears, we're telling Autodesk that our left gear, or the gear we selected first, is our driven gear. And we're telling Autodesk when we click the second gear that our right gear is our drive gear. So say if I input a gear ratio of 5, this tells Autodesk our right gear needs to rotate 5 times in order to get our left gear to rotate once. So if I hit OK, I'll demonstrate it for you. So I'm going to zoom in slightly. So if I try to rotate this gear, you'll notice the left gear is rotating a lot slower than this. So if I rotate this once, you'll see the left gear hasn't even completed 1 rotation. And that is correct because that's what we expected. We input a 5-to-1 gear ratio, we told Autodesk that our left gear is our driven gear and our right gear is our drive gear. So this right gear should rotate 5 times in order for this gear to rotate once. So since this is actually a 1-to-1 gear ratio in real life, I'm going to revert this to its 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm going to right click, press edit, and then I'm going to revert the 5 back to a 1. I'm going to hit OK, and now they're spinning at the same rate. So now I'm going to hit the home button real quick. So now that we've fixed our gear ratio, now is a good saving point. So please go to the top left of your screen and hit the save icon. Once this menu pops up, press OK and continue on. So that concludes our lesson for today. I hope this helped to show you guys how to use gears in Autodesk Inventor. If you want to continue CADing, please continue to try add other gears to this assembly and use the gear constraint. If you can, please add different gear ratios so you can also try out that ratio function that I showed you. If you want even more of a challenge and you feel up to the task, feel free to CAD another subsystem. You can try CAD another subsystem with a gear ratio such as a lift or maybe even a claw. Thank you for watching and good luck CADing.